but I knew the opportunity behind it. Mm-hmm. I knew that I could make a lot of money off roofing, a lot of money off solar, and I knew that very few people had figured out how to combine both. So I'd actually risked some money while trying to figure them both out. I could have made more money during the early stages if I just focused on roofing or if I just focused on solar. But I knew there was some secret sauce behind that, and I wasn't going to give up till I found it.
What's up, YouTube? I've got a special episode of the Blue Collar Boardroom. In this episode, you're going to learn how to build a seven-figure business. More importantly, the biggest problems that anybody faces if they want to start and build or grow a seven-figure business. Look, it's the American dream to have a business that makes an impact on the community, that allows you to buy the home of your dreams, have vacations, and honestly, live that passive quality of life. That's sort of my definition. I'm here with Daniel, Diab, and man, last time you were on this podcast, you went viral. We had a little role playing on solar. He's the director of solar at Sky Diamonds, director of solar at our RCA, and we did a little role playing. It got over 200,000 organic views on Instagram. So, inviting you back to the podcast, man. Welcome, brother.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man. First time I came on here, it was my first time on camera ever, and that was sort of a weird experience, especially because I was still trying to break in, prove my theories, and about 6 to 9 months later, we're more than quadrupling our numbers. Here I am back on the podcast.
Hey, the cream always rises to the top, and I say pressure makes diamonds. So sometimes many of you are scared of getting on camera, putting yourself out there, building a brand, and inside of these rooms, inside of our communities, I help people do that. And so if you're watching this, you could be on the show next time. You never know. Just like, subscribe, comment below. Make sure that you're getting notifications. Our YouTube's channel's growing like crazy, and we're about to do a contest where the people that comment first on YouTube videos are going to be eligible for free coaching sessions, swag from Sky Diamonds, access to live VIP events, and look, maybe you could be here on the podcast. So make sure that you comment below any questions. Today, we're talking about the six biggest problems that anyone would have start building, growing a business. Now, at the end of this, we're going to talk about the best businesses, easiest businesses to grow. We've got, right now, recession on the horizon. I saw something in the news that said the price of copper is down. And one thing that shows over time is the price of copper has dropped below as an indicator of every single recession. We've got, of course, the stock market dropped, the crypto dropped. How do you think that affects Americans starting a business?
Well, generally, whenever the economy is not doing well, despite your product being able to help people just don't want to buy. So psychologically, it makes people want to hold on to their money, which, funny enough, is the worst thing to do because your money's being devalued in the bank. So we have to start thinking of more creative ways, one, to approach people, to show them that they're there to help, and to try to sustain ourselves either as a new business or as a growing business to keep this economy going, really, because we keep the money on the table for our guys. And it sort of results in a snowball effect if we just let it beat us down.
Now, over the last few years, you want to grow a business, there's been a whole bunch of passivepreneurs, guys that could make money maybe through real estate. And right now, at the height of the real estate market, we don't know when the bubble's going to drop. We don't know who's going to be left with their pants down. And there's a lot of people buying at the top of the market right now. And I'm sitting here watching Richard Kiyosaki just laugh at people when basically laymen, regular folks are running up talking about their rental property investments and what they're paying for properties right now at the top of the market. He says it's really indicator of the same stories you heard before the last collapse in real estate. And so if you're watching this right now, I believe that we have the keys for basically the easiest way to build a seven-figure business, and we're going to give you a lot of different options. But the number one reason, even with all these conditions, why you wouldn't maybe start your own seven-figure business is you don't know where to start. Now, Daniel, when you came to me, you were looking to start your own business. Tell us a little bit about how you found me.
Yeah. These turbulent times don't really affect me as much because I started during COVID.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
And
What were
those are
you
some
thinking
pretty-
during COVID?
I was thinking that it was pretty tough to find a job. I was on my last dime. I had to move back in with my folks. And I was thinking that there are people winning in all this. And if I could just figure out how to start my own thing, and really in a way it helped me not being able to find a job in what I had studied, marketing, public relations, then maybe I can create my own way of life and sustain my family. If one of these, crazy situations ever hit again, I don't want to be dependent on anyone. So I decided to start my own business, and I had heard that the roofing business had done pretty well, and my uncles had actually had a roofing business in Canada. Now, I wasn't allowed to go to Canada because they were able to come to America, but they had a ban on us because we were so
those
COVID.
crazy Canadians with their rules.
Well, we're pretty COVID invested at the time, so they were like, you guys can stay out.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where I found you guys on Indeed, RRCA, and decided to take a job there because I obviously wanted to start working for someone instead of starting my own business, which a lot of people do and try to recreate the wheel, go through all the problems by themselves. It's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, if you're watching this and you're thinking start your own business, you don't know where to start, that's the answer to the question. The best place to start is to learn from an existing business that's a winner in the market with great reviews. The best place if you're a business to find people can be places like Indeed. We find lots of different places to connect people, like on YouTube and social media and things. But, when it comes to starting what we do, roofing, solar, what was it like once you got on board and you realized you could build a business within? And what did you start to see after your first 2 weeks?
Well, when I started working with you guys as an independent contractor, you could essentially make half the money of the profits by utilizing hundreds of resources. So in my head, I was like, well, I can just sell double the amount of jobs instead of trying to build all my own jobs, spend 10 times as much more work, and end up with less money realistically. So that was just great experience. And while I was doing that, I had given up on my idea of starting my own business myself, as in licensing, crews, etc., and thought about either continuing sales or building a team within the sales company. So a business within the business that would really utilize the thing I was best at, which was sales and talking to folks.
Guys, and this is the kind of guy that you want to bring into your business. He was hungry, he's a hard worker, and he's done over 1 megawatt of solar here in the last quarter. With the team, we are really taking things to new heights this month. We're going to clear hopefully 100 solar deals in a month. And look, we're only getting started with this. Like, honestly, some crazy big stuff, large commercial solar projects. But it's all been in the last, 18 months?
Yeah, I came to you about 18 months ago, got into solar about a year ago. And then when you had started your solar program, well, I just had to jump on the opportunity. I mean, I saw something that most people don't, which is the idea of growing your own business within a large growing department. It was just very unique because I had that roofing background. I got into solar, and you were just a company doing both. And so again, it comes down to amount of hours I have to put in, right? So with your company starting to do solar and roofing, then I could just utilize what I'm best at, sales and growing a team within one company. And even though it was 2 different avenues of income, it was way easier to do that than start my own thing or work for 2 different companies. And from there, it just kind of sort of steamrolled. It was tough at first, and it's sort of like an avalanche, like a snowball turning into an avalanche, where we did about 1 megawatt last quarter compared to about 300 kilowatts. And now we're looking to do 2 to 3 megawatts this quarter.
And we just got 1 2 megawatt deal that we're closing that could be closed this week.
Yeah.
But that doesn't count, guys. The deal is all you need to grow a big business is you need to find more guys like Daniel and teach them how to be sales pros. And so those guys that generate their own leads, close their own jobs, and then duplicate. And right now, I kind of want to unpack a little bit more because people always are asking me, how do you find top talent? Where do they come from? And if people are watching this, I know they're probably curious. You come from sort of a different background than your typical. You see us trying to hire people. What do you typically see here in the job market?
I think you have to create a market where people want to come to you and then go out looking for them. So what attracted me to this company was sort of the culture, being able to feel like you're a part of something. People join clubs in schools, football teams, and even frats, just so they could really feel like they're a part of something. So if you just provide them with a tool without the culture, I feel like you're missing out. Because there was a lot of times where I could have left to another company, but I didn't, because that was just a company, and this felt more like a family. And I know that's kind of corny to say, like a family, but in a way it is.
No, it's the goal. And,
Yeah.
And you come from a background, you're very tight with your family. Where do you come from even before America? You know, talk to me a little bit about growing up in Lebanon and coming over here.
Yeah, so I grew up in the Middle East, mainly in Lebanon. Pretty cool country, but not without its problems. And that kind of put a lot of things for perspective. I came here about 8 years ago. I came here for university, and then after I graduated, you know, it was kind of tough to find a job because COVID soon hit, and that's where I ended up at this company. But one of my idols, you know, we host this American Dream conference. One of my idols came to this country back in the 80s. He couldn't speak any English. He put himself through school by working at a restaurant and a bus driver. Went through engineering in his BA just 2 years, 9 months for his master's, a year for his doctorate. Went to Saudi Arabia to install the networks of mobile and internet connection there on an American contract through the Clinton administration at the time. And that's where I was born. And that person's my dad.
Oh, wow, dude. That's a very incredible story.
Yeah. So to me, he embodies the American dream.
Absolutely.
And if it wasn't for him, I would probably be working as a bruiser outside some corrupt politician's house in Lebanon with a baton and an AK. But because he came here with that American dream and put in the work and learned everything he had to, and then calls his children James, William, and Daniel, so they'd have a better opportunity, I was able to capitalize on that.
Isn't that crazy, man? I didn't even think about that. He didn't name you. I didn't think about it having the purpose of being a business, and that's an incredible idea and sacrifice.
Yeah. In fact, our last name is actually Abu Diab, but he changed it to Diab because at the time there were the Israeli-Palestinian conflict going on, and there were certain hijackings of planes happening. In the news, a lot of them had the word Abu in their last name. And so that we want to be associated on our resumes, he changed our last name to Diab in the U.S. And
Well, you know,
Daniel Diab.
You follow Patrick Bet-David. He's from Iran, or his family's from there. Maybe he actually from Iran himself. Do you know Patrick Bet-David?
I'm not quite
You got to
sure.
follow him, but he runs Valuetainment. But you know, he's a great person that came over here and did some big things. But a lot of times, Americans, people that are watching this right now, might think it's hard to start a business because there's too much to learn. Because basically, you know, obviously we're in roofing and solar. A lot of people think, well, you know, I've got to learn how to do all this. I've got to learn all the components, and it seems like a lot for folks. And it seems like in our society, people that truly want to master things, it's kind of lost. You know, you have a little different, more coachable mentality. It's what we try to groom and look for. Where do you think that comes from?
Well, I think it comes from mindset. How badly do you want it? For instance, I have two things that I really think about. First one is I still have a lot of friends and family back home. You know, I'm even planning to go visit very soon, in the next couple days. And over there, the people are just like me and you, despite what some of the news channels and media might show you. They're hard workers. They want a lot out of life. Because of our corrupt government and our influence in the region, all my friends are unemployed or working 2 to 3 jobs, making barely enough to get by, applying to 7 to 8 visas to different countries in Europe and America and Canada, hoping one of them will approve them just so they could go and work a normal job in one of these countries and be able to send money back to their own families. So just to put that in some perspective, when I see that and how hard they're struggling and working, I don't say no to an opportunity over here.
Okay.
I don't take it for granted. If you want to give me more and more work, I don't complain about my free time, because the opportunities that I get here in the U.S. in a week or month are more than the opportunities all my friends and family get combined back in Lebanon, that they are literally striving for without me even trying. So for me to say no to that, when I know there are people really, really trying to do or hoping to get what we have here right in front of us, one is almost disrespectful. considering how grateful I should be. And number two is it sort of gives me something to work for because these people took care of me, and this is my way of repaying them by being able to become that success, become that one, like Ed Milet says in The Family, and then being able to support others and grow that community similar to what we have in our company. I would want to grow within our family. You can invest in your community because what is it all for? I mean, you could become as rich as you want to get, but a lot of rich folk, especially some of these people, these huge media influencers, just look sad to me, man.
They are. A lot of them are. I will say, that even like whenever we're out here trying to do big things, the bigger that you're trying to get, the more problems that you carry on your shoulders. So, I take a guy like Ed Milet, who's the most genuine, positive person I know, but I know that he carries big weight on his shoulders. So it comes with somewhat of sacrifice. Your dad did a lot of things that basically, or whatever it took to make this generation successful. And I think the biggest answer is like if people want it bad enough, they'll do it. Was it hard to learn roofing and solar as a business?
It was, but I knew the opportunity behind it. I knew that I could make a lot of money off roofing, a lot of money off solar, and I knew that very few people had figured out how to combine both. So I'd actually risked some money while trying to figure them both out. I could have made more money during the early stages if I just focused on roofing or if I just focused on solar. But I knew there was some secret sauce behind that, and I wasn't going to give up till I found it. And it was not too big of a sacrifice. I mean, yeah, I almost went broke once or twice because I was trying to figure things out instead of just going out there and selling one product. But it ended up paying off, right? And I said there were two things that keep me going. The first one was the perspective of people back home. The second one is trying to make more than a doctor or a lawyer. Everyone talks about wanting to make more than a doctor or a lawyer in this industry, yet nobody wants to work as hard as a doctor or a lawyer.
Or they don't realize a doctor went to school for 8 years and they took time and they invested into their study and to truly earn mastery. They did internship and really in our business, I'm giving them training that others pay $60,000, even more for, and everyone gets personal mentorship and gets help from individuals. What have you got from being able to work with me individually and with the company and the training? How did that help?
I got a lot more out of just hopping on your Zoom calls, watching your YouTubes, than I did from my college degree. Now, I'm not telling anyone not to go get a college degree, even though a lot of people in our industry are rich without it. But I'm saying that the information is available to you, and it's practical information. And I thought that's really what propelled me because it gave me something to work with. The information is all there, is all I have to say. In the 21st century, the information is all around you. You just have to be willing to look for it. And our industry sort of has ups and downs where we don't require you to have a license like a lawyer or a doctor, right? You can go out and do it. But if you don't want to take that extra step, we're not even asking you to study as much as a doctor. But if you don't want to at least take the extra step and try to figure things out, try to become a doctor when it comes to roofing or lawyer, being able to go up there and inspect the roof. Your roof is messed up.
I think you could be a doctor in roofing in about 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I can make you a roof doctor.
Yeah.
Get you certified for inspections in 2 weeks.
Yeah, here's hail damage, here's wind damage, here's how you put the claim, here's what you say to the homeowner to not get arrested. And
so we do paid training at our company to kind of ease people's fears. But of course, when they're able to build a $1 million roofing sales book of business, the average roof is $20,000. We sell 50 roofs in a year. You get $1 million in sales. Usually, each job you get gives you a few referrals. So the idea is that you can build $1 million business selling roofs or $1 million selling solar. Now, you sold both $1 million in roofs and $1 million in solar, and we'll get into that. But I think many people think, and this is the third reason, biggest problem, is they think there's too much licensing. Maybe you're trying to get into solar and you want to get your electrical license. Maybe you want to get into roofing, you want to get your roofing license. And that's an important thing. Did you ever think about that when getting into the business?
Yeah. To me, it was fairly logical. There's a lot of things that I could try to learn on my own, but would take significantly more time than if I just walked into a roofing company that was doing successfully, saw all they were doing, and tried to leave as soon as possible. It didn't work like that even. I did not leave as soon as possible because there was always more to learn and more that could go wrong and more money to be made. And some people eventually say, okay, I've learned everything I have to do. I'm going to go start my own thing. And props to them. But to me personally, as hard as I like to work, I said that was not for me. I could do more with my life just working within someone's business, keep the liability on them, and keep supporting their growth by them supporting my growth.
Yeah, absolutely. You built your own
Symbiotic
business.
relationship.
I have the license. I help with building the jobs. You sell the jobs. I take the liability. You take a large share of the profits. And you're like, dude, this is like the best deal ever. And when it totals $1 million, I pay you in the form of an LLC, and you got $1 million business. And what's the name of that business? It's different than mine. You built your own $1 million business. And to me, you don't need a license. You don't to start a solar company. You don't need a license to start a roofing company. All you need is to start an LLC, and we'll show you how to do that and to get a partner like us. Now, the next thing that really holds people up from starting a business or adding solar to their business, they think it's too much money. They think, wow, this is going to take all different production supervisors, different trucks to drive panels. I'm going to have to buy equipment. I'm going to have to get these licenses. Or maybe with roofing, they're talking about trailers. They're talking about all these different things that they have to invest in, insurance. Now, did you think about that when you were going to start your own business there 18 months ago?
Yeah, I was trying to generate a certain amount of capital to figure out how much this would cost me for me to get involved. Who would I need to get the money from? Venture capitalists, family members, loans. Yeah, and those
like
were
your
definitely...
dad, I'm sure if you did something that was legit and there was like a lot of backing behind it, then he would back you on a...
He definitely would, but I wouldn't risk his money unless I was 110% sure that this was going to succeed.
Right.
And you have to be willing to take risks in life, but think of it as your own money, right? Like, you can't just be more willing to take a risk because someone else's money because you're not going to take it seriously. And I apply the same thing when I work for someone. It's somebody else's money, but I'm still going to treat it like it's my own money. And that's really what propels me. That's what makes me think differently, because while that rep is thinking about 1, 2, and 3, how do I make my money?
Hey, we got a guest here. Daniel's dog. What's the puppy's name?
Her name is Bella.
Bella. Hush down there, Bella.
Yeah. So she must have heard somebody close the door or something. She's protecting us. So the way I think about it is a little different than everyone else. The way I tell people is you don't think like a manager. You don't think like a director. You think like the goddamn owner of the company. That's how I want you to think when you come work for me, because that's how I thought of myself. And while thinking like that, I thought of all the things that can go wrong, all the things that were involved in a job, all the operational costs. And so while some people were complaining about, oh man, they charged me overhead on the job, why didn't I get all the money? You know, it's like, well, me understanding that there's a lot of things that go into the job, the Eagle views, the supplements, the operations, the customer service, made me, for instance, just one example, less upset. Or not even upset, I wasn't even upset at all, because I knew those were necessary for me to initially make the money. So while they were thinking that, oh, I lost $200 on this job, I was thinking, thank God for all those operations, because I just made $2,000. So sort of like the glass half empty, glass half full, and just being more aware of my surroundings and happier in the environment I was working with, because I understood it, made me succeed so much faster.
Yeah, and so guys, the real point, if you're a business owner watching this, is Daniel's a success story. If you want more success stories, then you should make sure that their stories are being told. And the reality is that this man had a vision as an entrepreneur. It's why, my goal is to help everybody as an entrepreneur. And if, basically with entrepreneurs, if their dream doesn't fit inside of your dream, then they go. If you don't give people a place to grow, then they go. And that brings me to the next step, which probably is the biggest reason why people won't build a 7-figure business. Even though they think about all that other bullshit, once they get to the point where they've got over all that and maybe they join the business, maybe they start on their own, they got to learn how to sell. They got to learn that people that are in sales get paid more money than everybody else because they do the work that no one else wants to do. Is that true?
100%. I mean, first off, on the point of being able to work within your business, within your vision, that's a huge thing. Because if I thought that this was just a quick paycheck job and didn't know where it was going, then I might have been like, all right, well, what's my vision? But because, and it is very important, I do it myself, you do it, all the greats do it. They speak about their vision. You need to let your people know what your vision is, because if they can align with their vision, they'll want to be a support of that. They'll want to help that vision become realized because it becomes the company vision. I want us to hit $100 million in solar. I'm not going to sell $100 million in solar, but my team will, because that's going to become their goal too. And they can have additional goals to the side, but it keeps them, aligned with what we're doing here. It's important that you let them know what you're trying to do. You're transparent with them, and so that they could align themselves and be a part of the trip. Because when we started, we had a whole bunch of issues.
Oh, now we're going to take people down the road, a trip. Y'all ready for this? It's going to be fun. This is called the scam trick. Y'all ready? Because my whole life, whether I was called a storm chaser, a peddler, a scam artist, a snake oil salesman, one of the things, knocking on doors, what's the person really trust you in the beginning when you knock on the door? Does anyone trust you?
No. I mean, you hear too many stories of these solicitors going around. They could be burglars, all sorts of crazy stuff. You don't really know what's going through somebody's head. But they don't trust you, to answer your question.
No. And so the reality is that, we've been called scam artists as roofers. But even recently, one of the reasons why your video went viral is we did a role-playing skit on how to sell solar. Roofing companies really fail. They don't know how to sell solar. Where are the biggest places roofing companies fail trying to sell solar?
Well, I think it's a couple quick things. Yeah, but the first one is their concern of how's it going to affect their roofing jobs.
Oh, number one, you overthought yourself before you even got to the pisser. Stepped up to the pisser and couldn't pee.
Yep. Haven't even sold a solar job yet are afraid it's going to tear down the company. Number two, you need to be able to sell. You need to be able to knock. You need to be able to go out there. You need to be able to sell it. You need to be able to show them how it's done, because nobody wants to follow a hypocrite in an empty suit. They want to be able to follow somebody has a big vision, but also can do it themselves and show the money's true.
I think people that sell insurance, roofs paid for by insurance, when you have to sell somebody on solar, they have to buy a large project. In their mind, they think, I can sell. I do a lot of jobs. But they don't realize that there's actually a lot more to the $50,000 high-ticket solar home improvement project. Now, it's a great investment, and they're stupid not to buy. And if it doesn't make sense for the customer, we never sell it to them.
Correct. We call them and we cancel.
We cancel the deal. And so to everybody on your last video, I would say that, we'll give a little replay. We're here. A lot of people are not even realizing the gold rush that we're in. Texas just raised energy rates 70%. They're talking about blackouts because there's been too much growth on the grid. The grid can't even sustain the power. What's that all about?
Yeah. Basically, there's an influx. The grids are the oldest technology in America, as well as the largest technology. And the cost to maintain them is insane. And no one's going to pay the cost to replace them. So what are your alternatives? Either keep paying the higher rates or try to find a solution. And when some areas like Texas and California, they will either shut down the grids for a while because they can't maintain it, or charge you triple or quadruple during certain hours of the day so people won't use that energy. And it kind of feels like a little authoritative, like an authoritarian government world.
You sound like you're back in Lebanon or you're over in Iran.
Oh, man. Lebanon is so screwed up that I almost wish we had an authoritarian government.
So were you there when it blew up?
The explosion of the poor, yeah. I wasn't there myself, no. A lot of my friends were there. They were sending me videos and voice notes.
One of the scariest, most sad, impactful.
Screaming, yelling.
Like a nuclear bomb.
Yeah, it was very insane because the first about hour.
A lot of conspiracy theories,
No one knew what was going on even the first hour. My friends thought they got hit with a bomb while they were at the mall. They had sent me a picture and a video. They were 3 miles out from the bomb. Just to give you an idea of how big that explosion was. There was glass all around them. They sent a picture and video saying, bro, we just got hit with a bomb. I think it's right outside the mall, and it was 3 miles away.
Oh, my God.
So I know people, like my friends who are working in bars down by the explosion, who got all cut up by the glass. And it was just a total mess. It's still a mess situation.
That's no matter what it was, if it's crazy global conflict, terrorism, or some sort of a government mess up, it's not a good thing. It's not a good look. And
Well,
that's part of the reason why your dad got here a long time ago, right?
yeah, right now Lebanon's going through the worst economic collapse, according to the World Bank, the worst economic collapse in the last 150 years
Are you
for
kidding
any
me?
country. Yeah, and that bomb, believe it or not, is just the tip of the iceberg of all the things going wrong right now. So my dad did foresee that all happening. And right now the banking systems are shut. You can't pull your money out. If you live in Lebanon, you have a lot of money there, you can't pull it out.
You're stuck.
Yeah, and my pops doesn't really have all of his money there because he foresaw all these things. We have the most incompetent government in the world. And whether that explosion was an act of terror or government incompetence by leaving 3 tons of ammonium nitrate there, regardless, ammonium nitrate shouldn't have been at the port where there's so many people living close by.
Right.
So whether it was an act of terrorism or government incompetence, it's government incompetence.
Yeah. And the thing is that, no matter where you are, sometimes you never know what can happen. But one thing you can do to control all that is make more money. And it's about the thing you can do to focus on buying yourself more of a better place to be safe, secure for your family. Here in Naples, pretty safe. The solar thing, though, man, everybody's kind of in arms about it. It's almost like a global political issue with people, Republican, Democrat. Is solar a scam? This guy's on your last.
Solar is not a scam. Let's
Now listen
take
here,
that. Let's
Mr.
take that
Diab.
off.
Don't
Everyone's-
give me that fast talking stuff now. Come
Solar
on.
is not a scam because
Listen here.
the
Tell me
entire-
solar. Go ahead. Tell me solar. I'll give you the scam pitch. Come on.
All right. First of all,
I'm the guy that thinks solar's a scam.
okay.
You're the sultan of solar, so
All
you
right.
better fucking close me.
All right, man. So first of all,
Listen here. Are you one of these solar guys?
I'm solar guy. Yes.
I have
First
talked
and
to 17
foremost-
of you. I just want you to know solar's a scam. I'm not into it. Thank you.
Have you ever spoken to anyone about solar before you assumed it was a scam?
Yes, they come to my door.
Okay. Why is it scam? Is it because it's liberal?
Well, that's a good question. I do ride with Trump and let's go Brandon. However, it's not about that, and it's about all this side deals, holly bolly bully. It ain't real. It ain't. It's a scam, and I know in here how that works. You come in here, and you willy dally up and turn me around, and then it don't do what it said, and then I'm stuck with something crazy. Now I'm not into that.
So let me ask you something, man. How happy are you with your utility company?
Listen, man, I'm happy that I don't have a $50,000 bill.
Let's ignore the $50,000 bill. There's not going to be a $50,000 bill. How much are you going to pay the utility company this year?
I don't know. I pay them $200 a month.
$200 a month. That's about $2,400 annually. All right. So let me ask you, if you keep paying your payments on time, and we call the utility company, do you think that they'll lower the rates for you, or they'll eventually eliminate them? Do you think?
Well, they goddamn should. But no, I guess not.
I agree. They should. So let me ask you this: do you own your home or you rent it?
I own it.
You own it. Why do you choose to own it instead of rent it?
Because it's the American dream.
It's
I
the American
got this
dream,
thing paid
man.
for. Listen here, don't know $1 on this thing.
Well, how much is your home worth?
It's worth $1 million.
$1 million. Let me ask you this: why do you choose to pay $1 million instead of rent it for $2,000 a month?
Oh man, that's a good one. Now I don't believe in all these batteries and
No, let's ignore the batteries. Forget about the solar, man. Let's just talk about the home.
Okay.
So you chose to buy your home.
Yeah.
Why are you paying $1 million when you could be paying $2,000 a month?
Because it's a better investment.
Okay. How much is your mortgage payments?
I don't have any. The house is paid for.
House is paid for, man. So you chose to own your home because it's a better investment. Now let's say you were making mortgage payments. They'd probably also be $2,000 a month, not $1 million a month, not $1 million anywhere, just $2,000, and your value goes up, payments go away. So let me ask you this: why the hell are you still renting your electricity when you choose to own your home? Because I don't understand why you want to build equity in one thing and refuse to build
Now
equity
listen,
in another.
they did go up a lot here recently, but my prices did go up a lot on my bill.
Okay. And, when it comes to owning a home, by the way, people will argue, well, don't buy a home right now. Prices might crash. Have you ever heard of the great utility crash of 2003?
Oh, now you coming with that scam. I know what's coming next.
I'm just asking about utility, man. Have you ever heard of the utility price going down?
No.
Neither have I.
Yeah.
So you're going to keep paying whatever they tell you to pay. Mm-hmm. So do you like big government, big monopolies?
No. Let's go, Brandon.
I agree. Let's go, Brandon.
That's what solar is.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, no, actually, the people who started the initial tax credit was the Bush administration.
No.
The person who continued it was the Trump
No,
administration.
he ain't in that shit.
Yep, he continued it, man. And right now, DeSantis in Florida just supported solar. You know why?
Why?
Because they're trying to screw over the monopolies who are screwing you over. Now,
Oh, shit, man. They're behind solar, too?
well, they're investing in solar. They're trying to end your right to have solar on your own home.
You know, I saw
They're trying to end your right to get solar on your own home. They're going to force you to rent it in the near future. Now, it's worked in some states. It hasn't worked in this area. We still have this program where you can get solar on your home. Now, if you don't want to do it, big whoop. I don't care, man. I'm still helping your neighbors. But if you haven't seen what it looks like on your home, what the benefits could be, and you would choose to continue to be bent over by the utility company, that's fine by me.
Listen
but
here, no one's bending me over. I'll give it back to them. Yeah, man.
I can tell you're that sort of guy.
What do we need to do to get started?
Listen, give me your utility bill.
Yeah.
The worst I could do is pay it for you. All right.
Okay.
I'm gonna send this over to you, or we can sit down for 5 minutes. If it don't make sense,
Now,
I'm
listen,
gonna
I
call
ain't
you.
promising you nothing. I probably ain't gonna buy this stuff, man. I'm just be honest with you, bro.
Again, that's fine by me, brother. I just want to show it to you.
Okay.
If it doesn't make sense, I'm gonna call you and cancel. If it does, I'm gonna show it to you.
All right, here's
and
my
you do
bill.
it.
Go ahead, man. Get me all fixed up.
All right, brother.
See,
you
there
tomorrow.
you go. That's a good one. What'd y'all think, man? That is funny because some people are like that. It feels like I had one of these conversations with one of my neighbors and I went too hard on him. I didn't do agreeable. And I noticed that he had a roof leak recently and he's got a new tarp. So it's like sometimes solar is a weird subject and it goes down party lines. It goes down what people think. And it's true that you do have to like learn some key things. I heard a good thing recently about it, and this is just one thing that I might learn. I actually walked up on a guy that was more of a prepper, and with storm season here in Florida, it's like, hey man, has anyone ever shown you how to go off the grid? You know, with storm season coming up. No, I hadn't really looked at that. Do you know what I'm talking about? It's like, no. Do you understand the benefits? Anyone ever told you the benefits of going solar and creating your own power and owning your own power? It's like, no, I'm not really interested in all that. It's like, look, man, I understand completely. I'm just taking care of your neighbor here. And what I told him was, look, if you could get a gas card for $3.50 a gallon, cheaper than you're currently paying for gas right now, and you could get that gas locked in at that price for the next 25 years. Now, gas is a little bit different. It goes up, it goes down. However, here recently, has it gone up? Has it gone down? Has it gone up over the last 10, 15 years? So what if you could get gas at $3.50 a gallon for the next 25 years? Would that be a good deal? Okay. All right, great. So let's go ahead and lock the deal in. Now,
Yeah. So basically, you gotta focus on you gotta try and figure out what matters to them. That's why I asked those questions at the beginning. What is it that upsets you? And I'm not Republican, not Democrat. You know, it's important to know all the information at your disposal. That stuff I said about Republicans, great. If he was a pure Democrat, I would have had some stuff supporting, Democrat initiatives about
now we
that.
went to the more advanced cell first, okay?
We went with a hard client.
Now,
But
Give me
knowledge
the-
is key because, listen, we make that seem like it's advanced. We make it feel like people in our industry shouldn't know what I know because, it takes you a long time to figure it out. It takes you a long time if you just ask people what they say, what they do. I don't do that. I go online, I research stuff about solar. When I got an entry-level job out of college in public relations, information, communication, as a sort of entry-level, make you do the busy work nobody else wants to do, I had to research articles regarding our clients and the industry every single morning and send it out to the team. That was busy work that they make all the newest guys do. That is still something I do to this day, even as director of this company. I don't make somebody else do it for me. I do it myself. I research stuff going on in Florida and the United States regarding green energy and solar. Why? Because when I sit down with somebody, no matter what their thoughts are, I have something that can contribute to the conversation
you
and
found
make
an
them want to
article
continue talking
on
to me.
Zillow. What was the one on Zillow that you use in all the closes?
Zillow states that homes on their website statistically sell for more than with homes without solar
And faster.
and faster.
And it says it on Zillow's website.
Exactly.
How often do you use that article?
Every single time.
Every single time.
And last month, the article came out with Bloomberg stating that rates are going to go up 40%. I now use that every single time. So I tell the people that work with me, my clothes changes every couple of weeks. Why? Because I'm still learning.
I think the main thing is that we build a different kind of rapport and we get into the customer a little bit more with the solar cell. Now, talk about the easiest cell in America. What's the easiest cell in America, Daniel? Salt and solar? What's the easiest cell?
Hey, you want a new roof? I can get it for free.
That sounds like some scam shit, man. You're
Well-
one of these gypsy hobo storm chasers, aren't you, you damn sultan? So, where you come from?
Well, listen, I just inspected your neighbor's roof. He had some damage. I just want to give you my card in case any of my crew come park in front of your lot. Just make sure they don't mess with you, annoy you, block you off. You can call me. By the way, while I'm here, your neighbor had some damage. I realize you have some damage as well. If you do have damage, we may be able to get you a new roof for nothing more than your deductible.
I think that's a scam.
All right. Well, listen. This is what I'm going to do for you then. I'm going to take some photos while I'm here. I'm just going to grab my ladder. I'm going to go up there, take some photos. That way, if the insurance tries to tell you those old damage, you'll have that to use to your advantage. Don't call me if you don't want to. But while I'm here, I can take some photos for you, and you can use it to lower your insurance or get a better one. All right? I'm just going to grab my ladder. I'll be back in 5 minutes.
Okay, hold on now. You got me on there, worried, but I can't afford this, man. I ain't paying shit.
All right. Well, these are free photos. Can you afford the free photos?
Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, then that's where we'll start. And no signing, no paperwork. I don't want to know what your checkbook looks like. Keep that to yourself. Sound good?
That's the easiest sell in America,
Yes,
man.
sir.
You could be my sultan forever. See, that's right. Sell roofs paid for by the insurance. It is the easiest sell in America.
That's a beautiful sale.
And that's a beautiful thing about what we do is we help people build a seven-figure roofing business, and then off of that seven-figure roofing business, since solar complements roofing so much, you get tax benefits, you get credits. There's all kinds of reasons why solar and roofing work together. We're going to talk a little bit about that, but it makes it to where, a guy can easily build a $2 million book of business and earn what's a $2 million roofing and solar book of business pay?
So, the average commission on a roof is about $2,000 to $3,000 depending on the market. Average solar commission is about $5-6 grand. So, based on $2 million, you're looking at about $250,000 to potentially $400,000 depending on the market.
Look, and I don't know what kind of business you're in, but if you build $1 million business, you take all the cost, you have the overhead, the insurance, the liability, and after everything's left, you pay yourself 25% to 40% margins. You are one of the most profitable businesses in America. And I just want you to know that sometimes it's better to work within the framework of the platform, and that's what we have. And that's why I'm about helping blue-collar entrepreneurs build character, confidence, freedom. I hate to get crazy on you, but you're a business owner, and you're growing, and you might think, Lee, all this shit's basic, and you've got my attention, but the real challenge is, scaling. How do I build a business and then not have to do everything, whether you're doing all the jobs, selling all the jobs, doing all the estimates, handling all the paperwork, or maybe you got a few people and you're just running around. The more problems, the more that you sell, the more your life's hell. A lot of people are in roofing. Maybe you're watching this and you're like, man, I would love to add a $100 million solar business to my company. And, what are the problems with scaling a roofer scaling a solar division?
Well, I think the main problem with a roofer scaling a solar division is their fear of the unknown. And that unknown usually starts with not knowing how to get into solar. The industry has become extremely streamlined to where it's a lot easier than you think. You can essentially start as a company as you would as a rep. A company can start through a partner relations division, just like we would hire somebody and sell through us. Number two, is this going to take away from my roofing sales? Yes, if you do it incorrectly. If you do it correctly, it can only add. And number three is, well, how do I make sure I don't keep these guys interested, keep the momentum going? Well, either you got to do it or choose one guy in your team to do it. And that guy will be that point of contact that, for instance, I usually work with. I'm like, I'm not going to train your whole team. I'm going to train this one guy, and you guys, we can figure out a system together. You have to find a
director, someone in charge.
So it's really easy to do. Really easy.
Somebody's always sometimes like, I don't have that guy. So then we hired someone even before you, and he wasn't the right guy. What happened?
Well, the right guy fizzled himself out. Yeah,
the right guy raised to the top, right?
That's right.
All right, sweet.
And I think basically it's really easy to do once you know how to do it.
Now, why is a solar business easier to scale than a roofing business?
Well, again, because it's so streamlined nowadays. Honestly, the solar industry is vicious. So if you're trying to do it yourself, it can be very tough competing against these other industries. But basically, unlike most blue collar jobs, the solar industry, anyone can get into. For instance, if you tell me you want to work with me, tomorrow I can have you selling in 50 states without have to worrying about any of the licensing, the installers, etc.
All you have to do is sell.
All you have to do is sell, and you can hire people in any one of those states and sell through us and that's generally how the industry has become. You don't have to worry about these things because it's sort of become like a network. And the beauty of joining a network is that you don't have to worry about if you'll be alive the next day, if you'll still be around if the market hits or not, because you can depend on so many people. And that, I might get a little complex here, but I think about that on grandiose scales like corporations that are, hundreds of companies, or even the country, the United States of America, what a large network it is and how tough it must be to manage. You would think it's so stressful of a thing to manage, but no, everyone has their job. And the way the solar industry's gotten right now, it's actually phenomenal with how streamlined things have been. Like, we are a sales network that is combined with an installer network, which is combined with whatever the hell else, but I don't have to worry. I don't have to worry about all those things, right? When I got involved with solar, all I thought that I have to worry about is how to sell and make more sales. And then when I got into a management position, I was like, all right, now I need to worry about how to recruit people and impose my vision, not impose, but relay my vision, influence my vision so that they could be bought in. And I got a director position so everyone just needs to worry about their role. And I want to be able to do what I can do right now if I didn't have the right people to depend on. And all I have to say about people trying to build a $100 million book of business in solar is find a partner and sell a solar deal. That's all you got to do.
It starts with one. The way we start people, we want you to bring us your first 5 deals. We actually personally help you close your first 5 deals. More importantly, we give you online training, Zoom training, a dedicated sales and marketing manager. And if you are a roofing company, solar company, and you want to figure out how to work the combination or way to use both, we have an innovative platform, a one-stop solution. And I just believe that with our network and the platform and investment, that it is so much easier to scale nowadays. And even with the technology that we have, the ability, with this video, to be viewed hours and hours, digital duplications, what I call it, in advertising, in training, it just means that you can do more with less. And so if you're watching this video and you're wanting to put a solar division in your business, look, a lot of people have failed. I even failed in my first, I've been at this 3 years. I hired a director of solar, he wasn't the right guy. We got started with one installer. We didn't have the right software. We didn't have the right processes. I thought I had it all figured out, and I wasn't being humble enough to go get coaching. But I did hire this guy. Turned out he wasn't the right guy, okay? He went off and took the division after doing some deals under the table, and I had to start from scratch. And we started from scratch with people with no solar experience, and we built that experience. Daniel rose to the top. And now at 100 deals a month with the commercial jobs, with growth, we'll grow into a $100 million company within 18 months. We're not there yet, but it's the freaking, I saw this picture of Kobe Bryant, and it's a quote, is a mural in LA. And it said that the gist of it was that so sweet is the taste of victory, but I enjoy starting over in a new season and actually having a brand new pursuit of a new goal, of a new territory, of a new championship, of a new team. The virginity and the opportunity of a new thing is more fun than winning the championship, because you have a mountain to climb. Once you get to the top of the mountain, what happens? You look down, you're like, I got to go and start back over and get back on the mountain to have fun. And so I feel like I'm climbing this mountain, of course, 3 years ago, building a solar division, now to the point where, we're finishing this year. We're going to finish 40, 50 million in sales next year, 100 million or more in sales. And I just want, if you're watching this, we can help you. It doesn't matter what niche you're in. We can help you. If you have homeowners that are customers, this roofing and solar business, it's recession proof. It's pandemic proof. Even in the times of recession, you talk about loans, but energy prices go up and they need to save money. So they're going to there's a $7 billion company we're partnered with that funds all of it. And there's such a strong, people don't realize $100 billion a year in storms. Category 3 hurricanes predicted to hit 3 different spots, 76% chance it's Florida. We're positioned to storm catchers, to be the best in the world, to onboard people who want to build 7-figure businesses and help them build as fast as possible with solar insurance retail. If you're watching this and you're looking at the 6 problems and you're thinking, man, I need help scaling, I need help selling, or maybe you're in the beginning and you just have challenges with the barriers to entry to get into business. We want to join forces because it's not just about one company, one organization. It's about raising the status of blue-collar entrepreneurs, living the American dream. And, in America, everybody's like, oh, America's so bad. It's terrible. Inflation, identity politics, racism. Let's talk a little bit about that.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're watching this, but I got a nickname for Daniel. He's the Sultan of Solar. Like in Aladdin,
That's
right. The guy that's in charge. How's Aladdin? Was Aladdin a racist movie?
I liked it. I don't know. Does that make me racist?
Hey, but I was at Disney, and you got masonry and Freemasonry and all kinds of different stuff around. Conspiracy theory, Walt Disney stuff. So who knows? But I know,
I don't doubt that they had some racist works back in the day, but I don't think Aladdin's racist.
No, it's not. More importantly, Disney is about inclusions, and that's all what Walt Disney was about. But we all have our differences. We all have our tribes. And even in your country, people may look the same but might blow each other up.
Yeah, I mean, division.
When did that happen?
People will look for division anywhere.
Yeah, how did that happen? How did civil war in Lebanon happen?
Oh, man. We're going to talk about the Middle East politics. We're going to need another 6 hours on this. So I'll just summarize it. Basically, tensions had risen in the region between the new state of Israel and the other Arab countries. So a Palestinian group had been given a part of land to fight Israel and Lebanon. Now that has created division within Lebanon. Tensions had rose because of religion differences, national differences between the Palestinians and Lebanese, as well as ideological differences. There was a Cold War going on between the capitalists and the communists.
All kinds of different hell.
Yeah. And so certain people will always take advantage of people's rage
to
push a certain agenda, whether it's religious, nationalist, or ideology, and take advantage of people's rage. There were a lot of things that went on, but the sort of straw that broke the camel's back was a shooting of a bus that led to the outbreak of the Civil War, first in the city, then throughout the regions around it, then the whole country for the next 15 years.
And one of your role models was involved.
Yeah, my dad and my uncles, and mainly my uncles, were more there. My dad ended up going to America to
get out of the craziness.
Well, everyone was trying to get out.
Was a roofer, just stories you were saying.
Yeah,
You were inspired by these. Talk about how every tribe has the people that are tough and all that stuff.
Well, it's not so much tribes, although we do have tribal-ass people. It's more of the villages and the communities. And over there, it's not race, but more sectarianism as in religion. And in our mountains, it was, the ideologies of certain Christian groups, not all of them, and the Druze groups. So my family is Druze. They're from that group. And within that village is known as a tough mountainous region. It's tough mountain people, don't take shit. And my village was known as one of the toughest villages, and my uncle was known as one of the toughest, if not the toughest guy. And to be tough in those times, you had to be pretty wild. For instance, he used to go down to Beirut where, you would get shot by snipers. He would drive down every week, go learn some karate, come up, find somebody in the village to try it on, start a fight, and beat the shit out of him just because he learned a new move that he wants to try.
Oh, no.
And so they used to have snipers across from our village that would always break a ceasefire. There'd be ceasefire for a couple of weeks. Snipers would shoot at someone. There would just be aimless shooting back and forth. So my uncle got annoyed that they're always the ones to break the ceasefire. Why can't it ever be him who breaks the ceasefire, but he doesn't have a sniper? So he got an anti-aircraft machine gun, aimed it, and just started shooting in the sniper's directions where they usually shoot from so that he could be the one to break the ceasefire that week.
Nice, nice. And so he became a roofer.
Yeah, he became a roofer.
How did he come to America?
He actually lives in Canada.
North America.
I don't know. I think it's past the point where we can talk about this now, but basically my dad helped get them across the border.
Way to go, Pops.
Because they also helped, him while he was studying in America before the Civil War broke out, and helping him with money and stuff like that. So he helped them come over to Canada, and they finessed their ways in, bought a ticket here. They always bought it like as if they were going to another country. and Canada was just a stop. When you get to Canada, what you do is you take your passport, you go rip it, burn it in the airport stall, and then claim a refugee status, because if you go back, they'll kill you. In Canada, they have a law where if you're a refugee, they can't send you back.
Oh, nice.
And now
you start a roofing business.
And now his kids are doctors and lawyers.
Oh, nice.
Literally what we talk about making money like. And he ran a roofing company. Well, he was started in irrigation, and then he had somebody who wanted to do a roof for him. He didn't speak a word of French. He was in Quebec, but he was a very hard worker. So a man in the neighborhood asked if he wanted to do the roof, and he said, yeah, sure. And it was the best work they had ever seen, because he was so hardworking, because he came from such a rough place. And we actually worked in construction back in Lebanon. So he got into roofing there, started his own roofing company. And ever since, about 20, 30 years ago, has every single summertime, he's booked every single day of the summer until winter where they can't work.
That is the North American dream up there in our land of Canada. But, I was the definition of one of those snowflakes, kind of grew up with a little silver spoon in my mouth per se. But I lost everything and had to start from scratch. And, it's funny because even though my dad gave me a lot of opportunity when it came time to become a man, learning on the streets of doing business, of going door to door and sitting in maybe 50,000 or 100,000 people's kitchen tables. It taught me a lot about everybody. People are different, people are crazy, but a lot of people are good. And overall, people are good. And if you're out there with good vibes to help, I see your hat, positive vibes only, that usually attracts, basically good things. And, we appreciate, of course, the opportunity to work with you. But if you're watching this video, just think, this man was not in our business 18 months ago. We are at the forefront of building $40, $50 million in solar sales this year, $100 million in solar sales next year, residential and solar division. We're helping other roofing companies. There's more than 30 different companies now selling solar under Sky Diamond Solar. And we have one platform where multiple different installers, where you can get everything done from start to finish with your roofing and solar company, a complete automated way where all you do is sell. And so if you're watching this and you're thinking, man, I want to build a 7-figure business, well, look, I don't have to charge you anything. All you have to do is click the link in the comments, go to join Leehaight. We actually offer paid training, and we're looking for top performers only. So guys like Daniel kind of rise to the top, and we're looking for people that have the spirit. And I think it's just not right. I had to hit rock bottom. I failed out of college. I embarrassed my family. At that point, I was partying too hard, like drinking and drugs, and it was bad. But, I also had never understood work ethic, and I just didn't have that confidence for myself. And once I got work ethic, I got confidence. And then I had, of course, material things are not really supposed to be good. But for a young man, jacked up trucks, it's okay.
Yeah.
That's what motivated me. And out of like doing what it took to get those, it meant knock on a lot of doors. Learn how to be the best salesman.
Well, hey, I was sort of the questionable child in the family.
You were the questionable child.
What is this one going to end up doing?
You ever thought you were the black sheep?
Well, it was between me and my brother, but he's a successful lawyer, so I was like, all right, I guess it's down to me.
Oh, I've talked to your brother. He's cool, man.
Yeah. And so basically, man, when it comes to growing this, what do you have to lose, right? What do you have to lose by joining this network and just starting to sell? The way I tell it to new people, especially, first of all, when people come work with me, I'm like, you know how long I've been in this industry? For a little over a year. Just to put in some perspective to them of how much you can do in that time. And when I put it into perspective for business owners who are like, well, how do I make sure these new guys don't go to another company? Well, I tell them, there is no better opportunity to the right people than starting a new division within an established company. And that's what I did within your company, and that's what I tell these roofers who want to get into solar. The right guy will jump on that opportunity, because at another company like Power or something, somebody has to die and there's 100 people fighting over that seat.
Look, I know that earning a 7-figure commission as a sales rep seems outrageous. We've had one of our most popular YouTube videos from Michael O'Donnell, but it's not when it comes to solar and roofing sales. With potential of hurricane, being able to wrap solar into insurance, roof replacements, and the opportunity that's in front of us, there's nobody offering the leads, mentorship, support, and has the network to facilitate through how many states?
About 35 right now.
35 states. So no matter where you are in the United States, we can help you build a 7-figure business, and you can be just like Daniel. Daniel's going to be a 7-figure earner in roofing and solar, whether it's this year or next year. He's definitely done $2 million in total sales between roofing and solar and just over a year. And that's incredible by itself, dude.
Hey, if I don't hit $1 million this year, I'll be pretty high enough already. I mean, 2 years ago, I was looking to make $30,000 applying to jobs like that. So, so I was like, hopefully one of these jobs will give me 40. And now I'm trying to hit $1 million. If I hit 400, 600,000, it'll be all right for this year.
One of the things is he quickly changed his goals. Once he saw other people being able to achieve it and what everybody else was able to do, what did that do for you?
Well, you were
because you had immediately these ideas of making $100,000, right?
Yeah. Once we got in, it was $100,000. Once they told me how much you can make in roofing, I was like, hopefully I can make $100,000.
Before you came into roofing, your goal was to make $50,000, $60,000.
Yeah, because I knew the corporate structure pretty much. These corporations, these established companies, you have to hope for a promotion or somebody leaves or something like that to get a $600 raise. Once I came into this industry, I realized I needed bigger goals, because if I was hoping to make 100,000, then I was saying, I hope I can work the bare minimum, which is not the sort of person I am. So this brings me up
a very important question. So hearing you describe your friends not being able to make that 100K or 70K, I know how much that hurts, because I always want to bring my friends with me, lift the people up from my community. Cagney and I, he's fixing to get a big commission on a large commercial project. I love the idea that we grew up playing golf in high school together and friends for a long time. Helped a lot of people that I grew up with make a lot of money in this trade, and I like that. What are our plans for international expansion?
International expansion is where it gets interesting. There's a lot of solar going on in Lebanon right now. Just because we don't have energy, the government can't. Well, they can, but they won't provide us with the right infrastructure for energy. When we talk about international expansion, I think the main markets, and this is where all the Lebanese people end up traveling to anyway, are going to be like Dubai, Saudi Arabia. These are going to be the people, when they do something, like to do it big. So what I have to say is, they admire America and Europe. And America even has a little bit more pull in those areas, depending where. Saudi Arabia, more. England, more in Dubai. Doesn't matter. If you can prove yourself and grow yourself here, there's going to be opportunities internationally, especially in some of these richer Gulf countries, where they essentially hand out billion-dollar contracts. And there's going to be a lot of work. When oil was first discovered in Saudi Arabia, Dubai, these places, they were still nomadic at the time, living from place to place off camels and, fresh water. Within a couple decades, there were hundreds of billions of dollars in infrastructure projects to pull out the oil, to develop cities, combustion car engines, schools, hospitals, the medicine for the schools, medicine for the hospital, even prostitutes. And there were contracts for everything, all off of oil and the byproducts of oil to develop the nation. That was the first energy revolution. Solar is the second energy revolution.
And I believe that we can tap into a great English-speaking, coachable, hungry community, whether it's customer service or it's sales, helping Americans with selling them roofs, selling them solar, giving them opportunities to service, engineer, estimate roofing and solar projects virtually. Talk to me a little bit about how many of your projects have been sold virtually?
About 95%.
And so I believe it's the future. And so you're going to Lebanon for a week, when you go to talk to your friends, what are you trying to put together to have them sell from where they are?
So potentially, if I can go to Lebanon and while I have some electricity and internet, could potentially close a $10,000, $15,000 commission deal. That's more than all of them would make combined in the next couple months. And so my friends speak English just as well as me, if not better, some of them. Very educated, very westernized, watch a lot of Hollywood movies. We're not like the media makes it seem. They're just like me and you. And they could do that themselves. And I'm willing to give an opportunity to anyone who's hungry enough. Because when we talk about the issues and conflicts in Lebanon and the issues between Democrats and Republicans and this and that and this and solars for liberals and blah, blah,
Bro,
blah.
our best right now, we've got this.
Everything in the world is economic.
Yeah.
A lot of the people in the Middle East have up mindsets, go to Europe and America, and no longer have those mindsets because now there's money. They see a reasonable infrastructure. They hated those countries. They no longer hate them. They love them now. Why? Because their issues were all economic. Same thing here. People talk about liberal, not liberal, Democrats. Everyone's issues are down to economic. Anyone will love anyone as long as the economy is doing well.
You need more money.
You need more money. And the money is root of all evil? I don't know about that. I would say
money is a spiritual concept. The more value added the market, the more you help people, the more money you make. People are saying that the love of money is the root of all evil.
Correct.
You don't love the money. You love the journey, the helping the people, the making an impact.
What you can do with the money, as long as your motives are good.
I made sure if any of your friends were watching this YouTube that we put that little extra part in there to let you know that I have their back, that I'll give them the opportunity because that's what I represent. And so, this was a lesson. Whether if you're looking to get into the roofing business, recruit more guys like Daniel. I know people are like, how do I build leaders? Lee, I need a sales manager. Well, that's what Daniel is, and he was built quickly. And the reality is his dad was working on it a long time ago. He was working on it a long time ago. He came in here willing to do the work. But look, all you have to do to scale your organization to 100 million is get more Daniels and train them and give them a place to grow. And so, guys, it's not that complicated. The American dream can be for you if you're willing to do the work, but risk is a down payment for success. You're going to have to sweat. You're going to have to feel pain, but there's no pain, no gain.
Yeah.
And, there's been some times.
Yeah, I mean, they say like the greatest generation was 80 years ago, post-World War II, the ones who just worked hard. And this generation is just a bunch of sissies whining, bitching about a whole bunch of things. I'm okay with venting, but when you start getting to bitching, it becomes a little much. I see that as an advantage. Mm-hmm. For at least the sales reps, the managers might have a tougher time hiring tough workers. For all the sales reps out there, you don't have a lot of competition. Just work hard. And you will outshine everyone. You will rise to the top. You'll get more opportunities. When I was talking about Saudi Arabia and Dubai earlier, I have no idea if they're going to be successful markets, but you better believe I'm going to be ready for whatever's successful. I don't know what inflation's going to do to this country, but you better believe I'm going to be ready. Instead of bitching, I'm going to look for the opportunity. I'm going to take it because I know while I'm trying to figure out the solutions and be the best, all my competition's out there complaining. And although it sounds horrible, in a way I kind of love it. Because you can't be great if everyone's great. So just try to be the best in your circle and work hard.
Guys, this was a great little segment. We're going to be bringing in Daniel in here, whether it's once a week, once every other week. We're going to be talking specific solar sales. Basically, growing a solar division, we could spend a whole episode on how to close, on how to set an appointment, on how to engineer a system and problems in onboarding and getting people their first 5 jobs. Because we find that if someone can get 5 jobs in the first 60 days, then there's probably, if they can get 5 jobs in 30 days, really is like 90% chance they're stuck forever. They get 5 jobs in 60 days, and you think that's not that many jobs, but the reality is 5 jobs might pay $25,000.
And not everyone's going to do that. There's a lot of turnover rate, but you need to understand that. You need to understand that not everyone can do that, and it's okay. You just need to recruit better.
Yeah, and so anyways, everybody's wanting to recruit more, find better workers. Look, we found Daniel on Indeed. We sold him our culture from day one and gave him a vision. And without vision, your people will perish. You don't have maybe the vision that you need, but you're watching this content, so you're in the right place. So look, click on the link, watch the next video, stay engaged. And if you're looking to join something and be a part of something great, and you want to plug into our platform, go to joinleehaight.com. And appreciate you, Daniel.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right.